You're probably watching this because you want to start a Pokemon card business. You want to know the ins and outs. You want to know if you can make money. You want to know how it works. Or you're watching this for complete entertainment. I don't really know. This goal for this video is to help people who want to start a Pokemon card business. What is it like? I'm going to be going over some info in this video. This is the first video on this channel. If y'all want to support it, please subscribe, drop a like, and let me know in the comments below if you are starting your own Pokemon card business soon. Just to give you some credibility, let's see if it'll work here. I ran a business for about 9 months in 2025. I grossed about $9,000 in sales, which isn't anything extreme. This was, as you can read here, part-time. It's something where if you went full-time, then you could be making so much more. On top of that, I literally only sold online. I didn't go to any card conventions. I didn't sell in person. I literally only sold online. It took about maybe an hour of marketing a day. I was able to make $9,000, which is such a blessing. Now, the first tip I want to give y'all is the brand name. Now, the brand name can be easy or it can be absolutely terrible. Now, me personally, I had a friend who helped me out with the logos and all that. This, as you can see, the Matrix Collects, that image, that was just a banner on my YouTube channel, just to kind of give people an idea at that time that I was starting a business. That's something we'll go into later when it comes to community and stuff like that. As you can see, Matrix Collects. A big thing that I did was I tried to kind of color code my business. So my color code was blue, a little bit of black, but mainly blue. And that's something I recommend is pick a color that works for you and try and go for more of like a popping color. Try and not use a dull color, if that makes sense. Now, what are you going to be selling on? Now, me personally, I used Shopify, especially because of how nice the templates were. I also, same person who helped me with the stuff before, the brand name, the images, also helped me, literally just completely helped me with my entire shop. Now, as you can see here, business is not up anymore. If you're trying to look it up now, that's why we have images here. As you see here, we have the single cards. I had images, the text, again, blue and black. This was kind of a color scheme that I was going for. I highly recommend that you do the same thing. You can even see on the images, I even added Matrix Collects logo on the images on the card itself. So people can really see the establishment of this is you. This is, also, it looks more professional. That's a big thing that I highly recommend is obviously at first, there's going to be things that you get wrong because you're just starting the business. You can't be perfect. No one's going to be perfect. Even people that are selling for a really long time. However, you could take some of the advice and you could take some of the game that other people have and really use it to your advantage. Hopefully you can take advantage of this video because there's so much more info that I'm about to give you. As you can see here, this is one of the best things that I recommend. Color code it. Now it's blue, black, and now you can kind of see that the blue text, the black background, I think it makes the cards pop as well since it's a white background image. I like it personally. Now, starting amount. How much should you start with? Now, people could start with amounts of money. What I would highly recommend is your own collection. You don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money if you already have your own collection. Now, honestly, there's going to be a huge arrangement of people watching this. It could be people that want to get into it for the money. It could be people that want to start a business to fund more products they want to buy, or they want to start a YouTube channel. They want to sell some of the cards they pull. I don't know who's all watching this. For a lot of people watching this, I'm going to kind of go off of my thought maybe, is that you already have a collection of your own. Now, if you have your own collection and you're willing to sell it, that is a great way to start because then you can start getting capital. Also, the good thing about starting to sell is obviously you get a good first impression. Hopefully you give off that good first impression. When you have your own cards, you can sell them at the right amount that you want. In my personal opinion, this is what I did, is that some of the cards that I had that I started with, I sold below market so I could get people to buy it so I could already get good reviews off the bat. Does that make sense? Now, you could also go buy collections. I'd recommend when it comes to going to buy a collection, don't buy it at a 100%. Now, me personally, I ran into this where I thought I feel bad for buying at 80%. You got to remember is that you're a business. You want to make profit, but also you want to be fair. I highly recommend 80, 90% if you want to be a really generous soul. If you're doing like 40 to 50, bro, that's all you, mud. I can't do that personally. I bought my friend's collection for $900 something. I gave him 85 to 90%, which is high. Luckily, I got blessed because the market went up extremely after buying the cards, so I was fortunate with that. Now, sell it all at first. Now, what do I mean by that? Like I said, if you have a collection, sell. That's what you want to do. So if you want to do that, sell a bunch of your cards. Sell a bunch of your product you might have. You might have a seal collection. Me personally, I'm more of a seal collector, so I had a bunch of seal product that I could sell. Like I said, it is difficult to get sales at first because you're not reputable. You don't have reviews. You don't have people that trust you yet. You don't have vouchers. when you sell immediately, make sure, obviously, you have good prices. I genuinely recommend, if, like, you could lose money, if you sell 90, 85% market for some of your cards, people will be like, this is cheap, good photos. They're going to trust it. They're going to take that chance. A lot of people, I've got comments all the time on TikTok when I was doing the business on TikTok as well. I took my chances because of the prices on the card. I'm glad it worked out, right? They were not only relieved, but also when they see your products again, they'll be like, this guy had great prices. It arrived great. I'm going to buy from him again. I'm going to recommend him to others because of how good his prices are. Now, later down the line, you could probably make your prices a bit better, of course. When you're first selling, sell everything because you need those reviews. You need those customers. You genuinely need them or your business won't take off. I cannot tell you enough how good reviews are. They are image reviews are even better. I'll talk about later on how I was able to incline people to do those reviews and images because there's even more steps around that. We'll talk about that maybe in a different video if y'all want. Sell. Do not sell every single product you have because I'll come back to it later. Build a community. Now, me personally, I posted on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Now, when I talk about the best conversion rate, I would definitely say Instagram. Now, there's two parts to this because the conversion rate was fantastic on YouTube long form. However, Instagram is one of the best ways to sell Pokemon cards just because of the community already being there. There's already a big community of people buying on Instagram. Now, you can sell a lot on TikTok as long as you have TikTok Shop. If you do not have TikTok Shop on TikTok, there's no reason for you to be there as your business. Your business will not do good at all if you post on TikTok. It will be very difficult because TikTok blocks .coms, blocks promoting other places. If you have TikTok Shop, you can link a product to the video that you're making on TikTok, which will get you your sale. TikTok Shop made me thousands of dollars. I highly recommend it if you want to. There is some big things that kind of will make you maybe stray away from selling on TikTok Shop. If you want me to make a video on that, let me know in the comments. YouTube is also good. YouTube Shorts, decent depending on your views. I got about a couple thousand views per video. Didn't have the best return on investment. When I posted long form videos, I'd only get maybe a couple hundred. I would get maybe 50 plus impressions with a good conversion rate to get sales. I highly recommend YouTube long form and Instagram. Now, invest. This is what we were going on before when we talked about almost everything. Why should you hold on to some of your product? Only some. Because we'll go into it on the very third one. When it comes to the investment, you want to invest back into your business. Pokemon is a business where you're not going to have the biggest amount of revenue when it comes to profit-wise because it is a business of low margins. Back in the day, back in 2019, people were selling about 3-4% margins. Obviously, it's better now. It's about 10-15 on average. I genuinely say that with full confidence. Because back in the day, you would get a booster box from distributors for 90. You would have to sell it for like 93, 94, or sometimes make a loss sale for 89. Shout out Danny Phantom for that info. Nowadays, you can buy boxes and sell them at way higher conversion rates. Obviously, you don't have a distributor watching this because you're trying to start a business. Buying at 80% of cards is still 20%, which is still fantastic for Pokemon. Pokemon is not where you're going to make 50% margins. All those big, you're not going to make thousands of dollars unless you're buying raw cards, getting PSA 10s, and selling those. That is the only way to make thousands of dollars. But buying PSA cards that are raw, getting them at 10s, getting perfect conditions, then shipping it off, not only is there a big wait period, if you're a new business and don't understand what is a PSA 10, and PSA 10 is gambling, let's keep it a buck, grading nowadays is gambling at PSA, the likelihood of you making $1,000 is very unlikely. So when you start up, you're not going to make as much. This is a patience game. This patience game can pay you thousands of dollars like it did me. When I made my first about $2,000, I reinvested almost every single thing back into it. I maybe put a couple $100 aside for myself. For the most part, I would say about $1,800 was back into the business. This was back into buying singles. This was back into buying sealed. I was mainly a singles person because at the time, single illustration rares or character rares like from Paldea Evolve, Scarlet Violet Base, those were having big booms, Drowsy and stuff like that. Those are trends and stuff like that you want to be careful about buying. However, I was buying a bunch of singles back then. I definitely spent about $1,800 for sure. Same side for taxes. This is something that I am dealing with actually now because I just paid my taxes. This was something that I absolutely sold. That if I made more money, I would have been cooked. Luckily, I made under the amount to where I didn't have to pay taxes this year. Really bad if you don't save aside. Set aside for, hold on, let me make this clear. I paid my state. I have to pay state tax. Obviously, I had to pay income tax. You know what I mean. Lock in. Set aside for assets. What do I mean by assets? Set aside product, singles, slabs, ETBs. Pokemon is an insane asset that nowadays people can comfortably say it's an asset. Back in the day, you couldn't really say that. Pokemon is almost its own currency of how much money can be generated through it, from how much money I have made, how there are so many businesses out there. I'm going to show you one thing. I have this example. Fusion Strike ETB. I bought it for, I think it was $230, $240. It's about $300 at the moment. If I really needed to sell that box right now, I'd profit $50. Obviously, I would have $100 cash. The point is, when you buy product, it is very, 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 it's actually not even very, very, it is undoubtedly going to go up. If you hold on to the right product, it's going to go up a lot. Elite Trainer boxes is one of the best things. That's why I wrote ETBs instead of writing packs. Elite Trainer boxes, for whatever reason, are so loved. I think the big thing is because of the Pokemon, the way it can stack really nicely, the way it looks on shelves. These are things you got to think of because people like seal collect. I am a seal collector. You got to really think about the customer. And this is something I said when I was doing my business and trying to do tips. Now I don't want to run the business anymore. I just want to help people now because I did my fair share. I had a great time. I feel like teaching people would be more fun. Buying sealed. The sealed Elite Trainer boxes, that has gone up. My Lost Origin Elite Trainer box that I also have, that's in the same box as the Future Strike, only went up about $25. So, not the 50 plus whatever from Fusion Strike. You get the point. Elite Trainer boxes going up. Booster boxes are fantastic as well. I actually made over $2,000 plus from one booster box, which I can make a video about if you'd want me to. Point proven of booster boxes are good as well. Elite Trainer box is the biggest thing I recommend. I made hundreds of dollars in profit from selling Evolving Skies and Celebrations Elite Trainer boxes. Elite Trainer boxes, big recommendation. Graded cards. Now, I don't have any graded cards anymore. I had a PSA 10 Melmetal and Lucario. I got it for free, right? At the time, I looked at the price. It was $200. I held on to it, and eventually I sold it for $360 when the market was $400. I made basically double what it was worth after I got it free, you know what I mean? And the only reason I sold it was because of the card getting me back into the business. It was a gift. I just remember that gift struck inside me. This is why I want to start the business. Person knew. The person gave me the card, I know guarantee knew this person's going to do something. Like, I really feel like God spoke through him to give me that card. I don't like that. I had a Lucario Melmetal GX PSA 10. At the time that I got it, it was about $200. I held on to the card for a while. It went up to $400. I sold it for $360 so I could quickly liquidate that card to go get a bunch of product. Slabs go up insanely quick. You just gotta make sure you buy the right ones. I highly recommend buying slabs. Make sure you buy popular Pokemon. Let's keep it a buck. If you look at a card and be like, this card is not gonna be above $50, you can kind of have some common sense to it. There's some cards where you're like, this card could be a $400 card. Buy that card. I really feel like it is as simple as you may think, because it is. Single cards are fantastic as well, because single cards can always go up in price. I can give you an example with the Squirtle illustration rare I bought for $60. That card right now is over $120. I plan on sending it out to grading. It's a pretty good condition card, as you can see. $60. Now it's $120. Don't buy FOMO. Now, what is FOMO? FOMO is fear of missing out. This happened a lot in 2025, where I actually lost in about 4 cards, maybe 5 in total, where almost every single illustration rare from Scarlet Violet base all the way to Paldea Evolve and Paradox Rift skyrocketed in price. These were called buyouts. People were buying out cards, the price would be inflated, then there'd be a new medium price. So a card would go from $2, go up to $12, and then have a new medium about $6 to $7. This was the thing that was happening beyond much. Almost every single card had a buyout at one point. Now, what should you do in this case? Buy at the lowest of low. I think this makes a lot of sense. Never buy at a peak. You could tell from a graph like this. Now, this is an example. I believe I took this screenshot from 151 going up. 151 is a different story. 151 obviously isn't going to be reprinted, but I should talk about that. If a Pokemon set has been printed for only a year, don't buy at its peak. because Pokemon usually have about 2 years of wave of prints, unless the Pokemon company says otherwise. 151 is a really good example. 151 went up, down, up, and now it's skyrocketed up. Obviously, because it is way out of print. Obviously, once a set is out of print, that's when I highly recommend picking up stuff for investment, sealed-wise. Because it's only a matter of time before people start to say, whoa, I forgot how many cool cards are in this set. Or, whoa, I really want to open this set. I had a good time. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people in the community, I'm one of those people, will see a set from a while ago and be like, I want to open it. Get some good pulls. 6 months later, forget about the set. Set starts to go up. You kind of get this cycle of people wanting to relive how good some of the cards were. Obviously, the product goes up because of the lack of sealed stuff because people are opening it. I feel like this makes sense. It's hard to explain the fact that packs run out and it goes up. You feel me? Never buy at peaks. This is one of the most stupidest things you can do unless you want to lose money. If you want to lose money, do it. One example as best that I know a lot of people lost money on, I made bunch, is when the Drowsy Illustration Rare was a $6 card. It then skyrocketed to 30, and then it went down. Then it went all the way up to 60, then right back down again. That is insane. You know what's crazy? There's people that bought it at 30. There's people that bought it at 60. I sold mine for 26 when market was 32. Keep in mind, I pulled the card. I didn't even buy it. At the time, I probably would have bought it for like $6. I pulled it from a pack. Buy proven. People want it. Now, how much is that card now? Now, that card's actually gone up a lot. Near mint is actually at, look at this. It's a $30 card now. It's all the way up at 53. Now, this isn't like a buyout graph. Low-key is. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, that's like low-key a buyout, but nothing absurd. Last recently sold around 50s. Now, Scarlet Violet's out of print. It's 2026. Scarlet Violet is way out of print. The base, at least. The set is over 2 years old. That card will start going up a lot more, especially because a lot of people are going to remember how expensive that card was. Plus, a near mint condition in Scarlet and Violet. The first couple sets, Paldea, Evolve, Paradox Rift, Scarlet and Violet base, have really bad condition. If you can get a near mint condition card, that is genuinely going to get you so much more. Please never buy FOMO. Nowadays, especially when new sets are out, like Ascended Heroes, it is not worth it for you to pick up an ETB for $150, $200. There's no way you're going to sell some of those singles packs for $15 a pop. You're going to be looked at as a scammer. You're going to be looked at as a scalper. And if you're watching this, you don't want to be a scalper. I guess I should say this. Do not go into stores like Walmart and Target, buy all those products and sell it online. That is the worst thing you can possibly do. Not only are you not going to feel good about it after, if you even do make any money, you're not going to get much out of it. Genuinely, the most you will make is literally pocket scraps, because buying in stores is not worth it. You may think the prices are lower, but that's not worth it, bro. When you go and buy sealed collections, when you go and buy other people's stuff, that's how you actually make the money. If you waste your time in waiting in lines in stores instead of marketing your business, learning about marketing, you just weren't made for the business. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But I don't take that to heart. If you're the one who's genuinely doing that, you can change, do better, and make more money by not going into stores and being weirdos. In-store buying cards is for real collectors, for the kids. Kids don't buy stuff online. When you're selling stuff online, you're not taking it away from the kids. Because you cannot tell me there are kids shopping online. That is adults. When you're online, you're selling to adults. Now, it could be gifts for their little ones. You get my point. Now, if you want to see another video, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to do more videos like this. I want to do videos on how I was scammed about $500. I could do videos on how I made almost $4,000 in one day. I could talk about my investments in 2026. What were my investments in 2025? What do I think on the outlook of some sealed product? What I think of the outlook of new sets? Let me know in the comments. God bless. Jesus loves y'all. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.